So I had a shoulder pain. It was here, and then I could feel it all the way down the side of my body, and I thought, I can't be having that all day. So I'm going to show you what I did, and it's up to you if you decide to do what I did to get rid of it. So I started off, my pain was on this side, so I started just to move my head around very, very slowly, and then I started to move my arms up as I moved my head, and all the while I was doing intentional breathing, which I'm not doing now. That's what you've got to do. I then gave my feet out a little bit wider, and I turned out the foot that of the shoulder that was hurting, and I took my arm out and I reached forwards, and I came back, and I reached there and I reached back, and then I took my hand down to my knee and I turned down. I turned my head down to my foot, and then I came back up, and then I bent on into that front knee, so I had a lunge going on into that right knee, see, and I did the same thing again. I had my arm out, and then I had a back bend when I took my head back. Now I used my core strength vinyasa breath here, so you know, that's a real belly bonfire breath, really strong core breath, deep core breath, yeah, a deep core breath. And then from there I went from here and I pressed down into my hands, and then I brought myself up, and that's what I did. But there was also something else that I did apart from the intentional breathing, which I've spoken about, and the deep core breath. I also plugged into my tripod feet. I really plugged in to my tripod feet, and in particular I plugged into the point underneath my big toe, and I became acutely aware of that point whenever I was doing my standing poses. So yeah, it's good to move, and like in yoga, it's good to move in different shapes, but there's doing shapes and then there's doing it intentionally with your breath. In some respects that was my relaxing breath, and in other times I used my deep core breath. But more than my breath, more than my intentional breath, which changed twice, it was about my feet. It was about my tripod feet, because I see a lot of grippy toes in yoga, and that's just not my bag. I don't think it connects you into the earth. So in the end, it's just you becoming a lot freedom of movement, really physical, but having been able to do crazy back bends, hold yourself in one hand, but there's no connection to your body. There's no connection down to the earth. Ooh, loads of little ladybugs around. So you might be wondering right now, what the hell is she talking about when she talks about her relaxing breath? What the hell is she going on about when she talks about her deep core breath? What's she going on about with this tripod feet? Well, this is the thing, right? These are the things that you can message me or comment about and find out a little bit more about, and you can begin to understand that when you have a pain in your shoulder, you'll notice every single movement that I did, none of them I rolled my shoulder back. I'm going to do it on the other side, because I don't think it ends, rolled it forwards. I'm not even going to do it on that side, because at the moment I need to just let that side rest. I don't really believe that if you have a pain in your shoulder, that's what you should be doing. I feel like you need to be moving every other part of your body aside from that. Well, that's exactly what I did, and I got the results that I needed. Now I can sit down and watch the video that I wanted to watch, which was Melanie Ann Layer. I think she's a fabulous woman. She's doing this experiment thing, and I'm all good with no pains. So what can I say? You know, you can go about doing this old roly-poly shoulder thing. You can think that because you have a shoulder pain and a pain down the side of your body, that's the side you move, or you can begin to realize that your body is more than that. And firstly, you need to connect to your breath, and that may change as you move, and it should change as you move depending on what movement you're doing. And also, surely if you're on this earth, you might want to connect to it. And connecting down through your feet is not a bad shout. All right, have a beautiful day. Bye.